guys, welcome to our webinar. My name is Zuzana. I am an immigration consultant with foreigners, and this is Ksenia, our marketing intern. So today's webinar is focused on trade license. So if you come up with any questions during our webinar, please just comment and we'll reply to you. For now, we can start with the questions. Can we see how many people we have now online? Six people now. Let's wait maybe a couple more minutes. Wow, 7. It's coming up.
How are you today? Are you excited about our webinar? We have 10. I think we can start.
Okay, 10 viewers. That's pretty good for the beginning, so we can maybe start up. Okay, then let's start with the questions that people submitted in our forum. So let's see what we have there.
So first one, residence visa required before applying trade license?
Residence visa required before applying for trade license. Okay, this depends if you come from EU or non-EU country. I don't know about you who submitted the question, but that's not. So as for if you come from EU country, then basically you don't need any visa or residence permit to get the license. You don't even need the certificate of temporary residence, even though it's better since the process with registration at the health insurance company financial office is faster, but as such you don't need it. Different case is for non-EU citizens, because you can get a trade license first, but it's inactive. It means that it's kind of just a paper, but you are not able to freelance, to do your business based on this license, and this license would be activated only once you get your visa or residence permit. If, let's say, business would be your main activity in the Czech Republic, then you would need to apply for business visa and then extend it for a business permit. But in general, if you come from an EU country, you need to have a valid visa or residence permit to be able to freelance in the Czech Republic. For EU citizens, you don't need it.
So the next one we got, how does the process of getting a business visa look like?
Okay, so it's kind of connected. So if you're applying for a business visa, then the first step should be apply for this so-called provisional trade license. Once you get your visa, you come here to the Czech Republic. You need to register in 3 days with the foreign police. They will give you a stamp into your passport, and then you need to come back to the trade licensing office which issued your provisional trade license. You will show them the stamp from the foreign police, you will show them your visa, and they will activate your license. They will give you so-called IČO, your identification number, which you need for issuing invoices and so on. So only after that your trade license becomes active. Obviously, you should, as the basic first step, you should choose which trades you want to be involved in. As there are 80 so-called unqualified trades for which you don't really need any qualification, any certificate. You can choose as many as you wish, including in your trade license. And then
the next one, what is the percentage of the income tax I need to pay in the end of the year, and how it is calculated?
Okay, so basically the income tax is 15%. It's the same for employees and as well as for freelancers. But in case of people working based on trade license, the income tax is calculated from your net income, which means that you get your gross income. From that you can deduct 60% as expenses. Then you got the net income, and from this 15% would be the taxes. But there is also possibility to use tax discount, which is around 24,000 crowns, something, which you can also deduct. So in the end, the taxes, I would say, for freelancers in the Czech Republic are pretty fair, pretty good. So, but basically 15% from the income tax.
Should my company pay for the income tax, or should I bargain my salary according to the income tax in the beginning?
If you are working as an employee at a company, if you're employed, and at the same time you want to do your own business, work based on trade license, then the trade license is just like additional side income. In that case, your income, your health and social security insurance will be calculated from your overall income, from the employment plus your self-employment. And then I would suggest to hire an accountant which would be able to kind of calculate this overall income.
So the next question is also from this person, and he asks if he needs a VAT number if he makes less than 1 million.
Mm-hmm. As for the value added tax, if you make less than 1 million per year, it's not needed. You don't need to register for that. Even though you can, but it's not mandatory if you earn less than 1 million crown per year.
So the next one, what should I do when I registered as individual employee and got in the post box a letter consisting of money order with a complaining letter?
Okay, I know. Just throw it away because it's kind of a scam. There is a company which sent these kind of letters to new like let's say freelancers. Since the trade register is open to public, they just search for you. They can easily learn your address. They send this letter, try to get money from you. Just throw it away. We have a good article on this. We are covering it on our blog. So just have a look at our blog or drop us an email and we will send you the link with more details about this.
So next one is about insurance. Do I need a health insurance in order to get a trade license? If yes, which kind?
Like basically every foreigner needs to be insured. If you are from EU country and apply for trade license, or if you have permanent residency in the Czech Republic, and also if you come from the United States, Serbia and Turkey, which have the bilateral agreement with the Czech Republic, then you will fall under the public health insurance system, which means that you will pay monthly payments to the health insurance company. But for other countries, people coming from non-EU countries, different than US, Turkey and Serbia, and you don't have permanent residency in the Czech Republic, you need to sign up for commercial insurance, commercial health insurance.
How about for students? They also have to pay taxes if they want to get a trade license?
Mm-hmm. As for the taxes, income taxes, then it's basically the same thing as for other freelancers, but in case of health insurance, if you are studying daily program, if you are younger than 26 years old, you don't need to pay the insurance because it's paid by the state, by the government. As for the social security, it would be calculated, but primarily in the first year you're not supposed to pay anything. After the first year, it's possible that you might pay something, but it's not very likely because you need to pay. You need to earn, I think, more than 80,000 per year. If you do so, then you might need to pay something for social security, but it's not that much.
The next one: do I have to change the trade license address every time if I will move to another end?
Okay, this depends where you want to have your business address. Because the business address can be a different address than where you live. So if you won't have your business address at the same address you live in, then yes, change it, but the addresses can be different. Although, in any case, you need to announce it to the trade licensing office, sorry. They should know your address as well as the business address to keep record, so inform them in any case.
The next question is about pros and cons for applying for a trade license.
As such, in general, I'm already working. I think was asking what are the pros and cons of applying for a trade license when already working for an existing company. So in this case, trade license would be just additional income. As I mentioned, the income taxes and health and social security would be calculated once a year after you submit your tax return. But basically, in this case, when the employer covers your insurance, most likely you would not pay anything for the insurance, or very little, just few thousands, let's say. But in general, if you're employed, your insurance is mostly covered, so it's quite nice.
What does it cost to both apply and maintain a trade license?
Okay, so as for getting the trade license, there is 1,000 administration fee that you need to pay for to the trade licensing office. As for maintaining trade license, is what we talked about. There is income tax, 15% from income, plus social security payments and health insurance payment. And then there's this difference between if you freelancing is your main activity or if you are employed and you do business just as a side thing. There's a big difference.
Do trade license expire and require reapplying?
Mm-hmm. As for EU citizens, it doesn't really expire. It's like indefinite period, let's say, validity. In case of non-EU citizens who need to have valid visa or residence permit, you need to actually extend the trade license every time you get a new visa or a new residence permit, because the trade license is always dependent on your visa or residence permit. So make sure that every time you get a new visa, you go to the trade licensing office so that they don't cancel it. Because if they did, if your visa expired, you got a new one, but you didn't announce it to the trade licensing office, your trade license would be cancelled. And if you wanted to get it again, I mean, it's not possible to activate it. You would need to register again to do the whole process.
Does trade license limit a person to the type of business one is aiming at starting?
Limited type of business. Basically, there are these 80 types of trades, free or general trades that you can choose from. You're not limited in this. You can choose as many as you wish. But then there are other professional and craft trades for which you might need some experience or qualification, some certificate. So you may be limited in this regard. But else, the person is asking, for example, whether you will be focusing on local clients or looking to do business in Europe and globally. In this case, you're not really limited. I mean, there is no requirements required that you would need to have, I don't know how this amount of Czech clients, or it's really not the case. You can have just clients from other EU countries to sell your products there. It's okay. But I should mention that in case you're applying for a business visa, then it's highly recommended to have Czech clients, to have local clients, because else, if you didn't really have any Czech clients, the embassy or the Ministry of Interior would be asking, like, why do you want to, have your business located here in the Czech Republic? So that's kind of different.
Next one, are there specific laws which guide you with regards to the legal documentation required for executing business transactions with clients. For example, contractual agreements.
In the case of contractual agreements, there are certainly some legal requirements which the contracts should meet. But in this case, I suggest you get in touch with specific lawyers, because we are not really focused on this, and there are certainly some legal demands that the contract should meet. So we may be able to provide you with some contacts. If you need, drop us an email. We'll be happy to get you in touch with some lawyers, or send an email to us.
What email?
Our email, prag@foreigners.cz.
Next person asks, the present company I work for handles our annual taxes. If I were to have a trade license and make an extra income of my business, what will the procedure be in terms of staying my extra income to the accounts?
We've already kind of covered this. In case you're employed and you also have a trade license at the same time, then your taxes would be calculated once a year from your overall income, from your income from the employment plus freelancing, and this is up to the accountant to calculate it with the tax return by the end of March.
So, this we have answered.
Do we have some questions? Hi.
So, yeah, we have.
Yeah, there's a question from Cubic. Cubic, I hope I pronounce it well. Could you
May I know how much income do we have to earn for the first year in order to make sure we'll be able to extend the license for the second year?
So if your trade license is your business is your purpose of stay in the Czech Republic, and you want to extend your business permit, then you need to take into account your accommodation expenses. That's the first thing. Payments for the health insurance and social security. Plus there is this minimum, which is minimum money, which is around 3,500, which is so-called minimum livable money to kind of survive. So basically the ministry counts this just minimum plus the accommodation expenses. In case you provide the ministry with your lease contract, they will calculate it on the real expenses for your accommodation. If you don't and you provide proof of accommodation instead of the lease contract, then there is state amount of money, which is 8,000 something for one person. So they will count this together, then they will deduct payments for social security and health insurance. And from this, in general, the minimum is around 16,000 per month net income, roughly. So
Andriana asked us to share the live stream video by the email. We will put our live stream video on our main page, and we'll share with everyone the link to watch it. Thank you.
Do we have something else?
Does providing courses online require trade license?
It may depends on which type of courses, but in general not, because one of the free or general trades is consulting. So basically not, but if you can send us an email with your specific case or the course that you want to be involved in, we can check. But in general, consulting is, falls under the free trade, so basically not, but send us an email so we can look into your specific case. Do you have something else?
For now, it's no.
Okay. Seems like we covered everything.
20% on tax deduction. This pauschal 60 of the income is great. However, if I'm not mistaken and you are here on business visa for the non-EU, you need to make sure that your financial statement for the immigration office is high enough, right?
That's a good point. In case you're applying for business visa and then extending your business permit, then this using this 60% expenses deduction might not be the best choice, because then you might not need to meet the financial requirements for the visa extension. So in case business is your main purpose, then maybe think wisely.
We have next question. If recording videos on YouTube and there will be some income from YouTube, does it also require something like trade license?
If recording videos on YouTube, there will be some income from YouTube. If it would be a regular income, then you would definitely need to register with the trade licensing office, even though like the trade license as such might not be required in this case, but still you need to register with the trade licensing office, and as you will be asked to pay the taxes. So yeah, if it was just like one video, then not, but once you start, let's say, making regular profit, then definitely you need to register with the trade licensing office. Something else? That's it.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have some more questions, don't be shy and ask while we're still here. Let's wait a couple of minutes if we get something. In the meantime that we are waiting, we would like to invite you to our conference, because we are foreigners. We are celebrating 10 years, and in this occasion we are organizing a big conference in Brno. It will be on November 30, so if you have way around Brno, come join us.
Yeah. And yeah, we have next question from Tim. Hello, Tim. He's from EU and want to move to Czechia and get a job there in a company and work as a freelancer as well. How do the taxes apply then? And he needs still pay to his country of birth.
So we talk about it. If you are working here and working as a freelancer as well, then of course you need to pay the income tax, which will be calculated once a year from the overall income, as well as the payments for the social security and health insurance company. As for the social security, there might be some exceptions, but it's in case you're just freelancing, and if you can prove that you pay for the social security in your home country, then you might not need to pay it here. But that's mostly with non-EU citizens, and if you're working here freelancing, then for sure you need to pay the taxes here as well as the health insurance.
But what about his home country?
About his home country, it depends if like he's let's say active in business there. If he is, then of course he needs to follow the local procedures and requirements, and he will be asked to pay taxes there. But I'm not sure about like the insurance. But again, please, if you can send us email, tell us more about the case, the specific case, your country, then we would be happy to explain it to you for.
And we have one more question about YouTube. Is there any minimum profit value from YouTube or from online courses which will be then require a license?
There is like no minimum income required, Actually, you can get a license and have it even though you're not gaining any money, but then just be careful about this, because if freelancing would be your main activity, meaning that you would not be employed anywhere, then you would need to pay the monthly payments for social security and health insurance companies. So it wouldn't be a very wise idea. But as such, there is no minimum like profit. If of course you're not applying for a business visa, then there is a financial requirement that you need to meet.
No. So, any questions? We are still here.
How much is the monthly payment for the social security? Because I think you didn't mention.
Good question.
Repeat my
Okay, there was a question. How much are the monthly payments for social security and health insurance? For the health insurance, it's 2,208 crowns. That's the monthly deposit. As for the social security, it's 2,388 crowns. This amount of money may change a little bit depending on your income, but once you start freelancing, the first year you are supposed to pay this amount of money, and then after first year of your business it might change a little bit.
Any more questions?
How many viewers are we?
I have questions for you.
Okay, good.
If we are students, so we also can apply to get a student's visa and also a trade license.
Of course. Let's say you're studying here, you get study permit, and you want to do some kind of additional. You want to have additional income, right? Yeah. You can have the trade license. You have the visa permit, which is great. It allows you to register with the trade licensing office to get a trade license. And as we mentioned, the good thing that your health insurance would be covered by the government. Social security basically would be minimum, or maybe not even, maybe none, depending on your income. And as for the taxes, you are supposed to pay 15% from your net income, but there is no limitation. Let's say you can have it.
Should we pay taxes every month or once a year?
The taxes are calculated once a year. The tax return is due by March 31st. But as for the social security, health insurance, if you are supposed to pay it, it needs to be done monthly, every month.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have something else?
Don't be shy, guys. We are still here and still waiting for your questions.
Okay, we'll wait a little bit. If there are no more questions, we can stop here, but don't hesitate to drop us email or call our office. We'll be happy to help you. If you think of some other question later on, no problem. Just get in touch with us. We'll be happy to hear you or see you here in the office. So, bye. Okay then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much and bye. Have a good
Thank you for
evening. Bye. Good night.